Hi everyone, welcome to True Crime Chat with Mommy Ramblings. I'm going to go over a case that we have been covering in our lives for the last several days. And as I said in previous videos, what I'm going to do is cases that are high profile or that are going to go to trial eventually. I'm going to take that information from the lives and make a separate video about it, because there are people that will want to find that information very quickly, especially as things move along towards a trial. So that's what I'm doing here. So this video is about the Utah couple that was killed in a home invasion, and that's Tony and Katherine Butterfield, the mother of 3 young children, ages 4 and under. So we're going to look at this and see what we know so far and get this out as the starter video in that series, and I will cover updates in subsequent videos, etc. If this is your first time to this channel, welcome. There is a subscription button in the lower corner of the video. I encourage you to click on that, please, if you like this type of content. We do more than just true crime. You'll find a variety of content on this channel, and we do have the best community on YouTube. And hope that, even in this time, you'll stay home with us. But check it out. See what you think. If you like it, subscribe. We'd love to have you as part of our community. But let's dive in now and see what's going on with this case. Okay, so Tony and Katherine Butterfield were shot to death in their West Jordan, Utah home early Saturday morning, and that was April 18th, during a home invasion. Tony was 31 years old, and Katherine was 30 years old. They were the parents of 3 children, ages 4, 2, and 6 months. The children, thankfully, were not hurt. They were upstairs in their beds sleeping. They were totally unharmed. Police were called after a neighbor said they heard gunshots and a woman screaming. And when police arrived at the house, they found Tony's body in the backyard, and Katherine's was right inside the home's doorway. They were both, like I said, shot to death, but there were signs that showed they fought off the attacker, potentially wounding him, because there was a trail of blood that was found to where it looked like he had parked his car or somebody was waiting in the car. They didn't know at that point. Now, the families of Tony and Katherine said that they are devastated by the sudden passing of their loved ones. The grieving family said Tony and Katherine were incredible, Christ-like, kind, happy, and loving parents, children, siblings, and friends. There were signs of forced entry to the family's home. Investigators said it looks like there was probably some type of an altercation that happened there that night. It appears that the intruder may have been stabbed in his arms or legs. The wounds are not believed to be life-threatening, but Sergeant Holt from the police department said that they would be likely noticeable. This is before they found the suspect, okay? He said he wasn't clear who inflicted those wounds on the suspect, whether it was Katherine or Tony. And at a press conference, he said that it appears that the couple grabbed a knife from within the home and used it in defense. Holt said that the gun used in the incident to kill the couple was not found at the scene. A motive for this alleged home invasion break-in was unclear at the time. The intruder apparently rummaged through some of the home, but it was unclear if any of their belongings were stolen. And they said at this, describing this, we do believe, that the Butterfields were absolutely true victims during this. As a result of this act, Holt said, they did not have any role in this. We do not believe there was any criminal activity on their part. So, police had a suspect, Albert Enoch Johnson, and a manhunt was underway to find the suspect. Now, on Sunday, police interviewed Sina Johnson, after determining that her husband was the suspect in these killings. As the interview continued, Sina Johnson's story kept changing about her knowledge of the homicide and her contact with Albert. Sina eventually admitted that her husband was familiar with the Butterfields, but he had attempted to obtain a job with their company. Katherine and Tony, they had a landscaping company at one point. They lived about 4 minutes from each other, the Johnsons and the Butterfields. Between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. in the morning of the killings, Johnson said that her husband came home and was rushing. Albert told her that someone stabbed him and that his life was over. He showered, changed his clothes, and left the apartment. When she found out that her husband was involved in the killing, she took his bloody clothing to the garbage and cleaned her apartment because there was blood downstairs in the hallway walls and in the bathroom. Okay, so Sina Johnson, 29, was arrested on Monday, April 20th, 2020, for investigation of obstruction of justice and tampering with evidence. According to the affidavit, Sina Johnson had information regarding the Butterfields' deaths, but continued to falsify her knowledge of what occurred in an interview with the police. She withheld the whereabouts of the homicide suspect, Albert, and falsified her recounts of what occurred and her involvement. It is known that she had contact with the homicide suspect, Albert, on multiple occasions prior to and after the homicide. Sina Johnson also allegedly disposed of items of evidentiary value regarding the homicide. Though the report does not say what exactly she disposed of. Police further noted in the affidavit that Sina Johnson made statements that she plans to buy a plane ticket to Arizona and would not specify where in Arizona she would go. The alleged party has already aided the homicide suspect in fleeing, and police believe she will continue to aid the homicide suspect if released. Now, police suspected he was with relatives, friends he had out in California, and he was found in California in a town called Stockton, which is not too far from Sacramento. Local law enforcement in California, along with the U.S. Marshals, found Johnson on April 22nd around 2 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time and arrested him. His mugshot shows obvious injuries to his face, including his right eye that was swollen shut. Holt said that officers were able to confirm Thursday that Johnson had significant injury to one of his arms, consistent with a knife wound, as well as some puncture wounds on his legs. And he did resist arrest, and those injuries were sustained during the arrest that you see all over his face. Detectives from the West Jordan Police Department were en route to California on Wednesday to interview Johnson and return his vehicle that was recovered there back to Utah to be processed for evidence. Holt said police intend to screen charges of aggravated murder with the Salt Lake City District Attorney's Office and begin the process of having Johnson extradited back to Utah. As for the motive in the killings or more information on how Johnson and the Butterfields knew each other, police remained tight-lipped on Wednesday. We will not be elaborating further on his relationship other than he was known to them. He was known fairly well to them, and we believe it was definitely targeted and definitely an isolated incident, Holt said. And Holt is the sergeant that is the spokesperson for the West Jordan Police Department. He could not say Wednesday whether Johnson intended on killing the Butterfields when he went to their house. Further, Holt said police would not be elaborating on the association between Johnson and his victims because there are some other investigative efforts going on, and we feel like that could be very relevant to the case. Holt declined to say if that meant potential additional crimes were being investigated, but noted there are other factors in the case that could play into it. Holt said the Butterfield family was informed this morning of Johnson's arrest before the information was released publicly. Officers who talked to the family said they sensed relief from the relatives. Now, there is a memorial fund that's been set up to help the Butterfields' children. I will put the link to that in the video description if you'd like to take a look at that and donate anything. And that is the information I have to date. Again, there will be subsequent videos as more information is gathered, released. And I thank you for watching. If you felt this video was informative, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, please, and share it out where you can. That would be very helpful to get that information out there. I would appreciate that. I hope you're all having a great evening. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.